We have few patients from Europe, but you're the first on our channel from Spain.
It's a beautiful country. It's a country that I miss living in. Whereas in Dubai, I feel it's a lot more dynamic. Like everyone's ready to go, and it is a different vibe. About 3-4 years ago, when I started seeing the thinning on the crown area, that's when I really started panicking. Well, I got grey hairs when I was very young, and that was something that never really bothered me. But the moment I started feeling that I was losing my hair, it just really had a really bad effect. If I can do something that will help restore my confidence and my self-esteem, why shouldn't I?
Your initial research that you did, what did you learn from that research?
Everyone used to think about Turkey as the place to go to get this done. But then as years passed on, I felt like, well, there are a lot of options in Dubai, so I would like to explore more locally. Because I think also for the aftercare, etc., it's just easier if everything's kind of around where you live. Like a lot of people come in still with maybe a bit of stigma, a bit of embarrassment. I think there's no right or wrong time. Everyone has to do it in their own time and when they feel confident.
With you, it's just been 4 months and we see that lovely growth coming in. How was that initially when you saw in the mirror? What were the emotions like?
It immediately restored a lot of the confidence that I had lost just by seeing a very faint hairline.
What is that one advice you would like to give to people who are, still in two minds?
Write down all the questions you have. There are no stupid questions. Ask them. If the answer's not to your satisfaction, ask it again, because at the end of the day, you're the one who needs to be 100% comfortable.
Hello, Mr. James. Thank you so much for giving us your valuable time and being here and joining us here on our channel Beyond the Mirror.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invite.
It's an honor to have you here with us. I think you're one of the very special guests for several reasons. We get an opportunity and the privilege to speak to a lot of our patients here who've, of course, undergone the hair transplant journey with us. But also we get a lot of inspiring stories here to listen because they speak about their fitness, their professional journey. And with you, I think the conversation is going to be even more special. I'll tell you why, because most of the guests here, either they are from India or from Asia, a lot from Middle East. Of course, we have few patients from Europe, but you're the first on our channel from Spain. And that, I think, gives a whole new perspective to this conversation. And with most of them, it's been 2 years, 3 years, or sometimes even 5 to 6 years of their hair transplant procedures done. With you, it's just been 4 months, and we see that lovely growth coming in. Things are changing and developing. So I think that itself also makes this a little more unique because such early transformations is very rarely that, we've got to showcase here. So thank you so much again for doing this with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invite. And it's great to be here and to have the opportunity as well to talk to you. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. Before we get into the hair journey, we're very excited actually to talk about your personal journey since you've been in 15 years into international aviation and high-profile clients, and from commercial, you're now into, I think, the private jets. So correct, Tell us a little about how did your journey start?
Well, I actually started my career back in Spain, in Barcelona airport, when I was 16. I got my first job working for the national carrier over there. It's called Iberia. And I was just a check-in, just being a check-in agent, and I just absolutely fell in love with the whole airport vibe and being around people that are traveling and constantly moving in different cultures, etc. And then I kind of continued my career, moved on to the operational side, and then I switched over to the private side of the industry. It was something that attracted me a bit more than the commercial, because the main difference is on the commercial side, everything's scheduled. So you always know what's coming, whereas on the private aviation side, every day is a new adventure. So that really attracted my attention. And then, I've been 15 years in that industry. Aviation is what I know. It's what I do. It's what I enjoy doing. So here we are today.
So what made you move from Spain to Dubai? And I think it's been 2 years. Dubai is your home now.
I think one of the things that attracted me the most about Dubai was just the prospects that you can find here, right? The way it's got very good marketing, and then when you come here, you realize that not only is it marketing, it's real. And I came here on holiday before I decided to settle in Dubai. And I was gobsmacked by the feeling of safety, by the service levels, by the quality, the beauty of Dubai. and I just immediately fell in love. And I remember turning around to my partner. We were walking, I think, along Business Bay, and I said to her, "Right, yeah, we're definitely moving here.
Okay,
This is the place I want
lovely.
to be in."
Right.
So yeah.
So, how do you feel the difference in terms of probably professionally and also at a personal level, or the culture when we talk about Spain and now that you moved to Dubai?
It is very different, obviously. It's a beautiful country. It's a country that I miss living in. But Spain has a kind of vibe of let's take it easy, let's figure it out tomorrow, have a little siesta, etc. Whereas in Dubai, I feel it's a lot more dynamic. Like everyone's ready to go and wanting to network, to socialize, to do fun stuff, to take it to the next level. But that doesn't mean, obviously, that Spain isn't a great place to live. And I wish I could go back sometimes. But yeah, it is a different vibe.
Talking about the work front professionally, how is the work culture you feel different here compared to other countries that you've worked?
I think the work culture in Dubai is quite intense. I didn't live the 1960s in America, but I feel like it has that kind of vibe where everyone understands that if you put in the work and you obviously a bit lucky, etc., there's a lot of good stuff that can come from it. I think the difference as well with Europe is that kind of over there it's more of a work-life balance, and here it's more about let's work hard now and enjoy life later. So it is a different switch, especially from a mental point of view and in the way your day-to-day functions. But I think once you're able to adapt to it, and also when you're able to find the little gaps that life offers you to fill in with the things that relax you, etc., then it's definitely an easier way to manage it.
You've been leading operations across so many countries, so Dubai and of course London and Malta you mentioned, Mexico, New York, all of
Yeah.
these. What are the typical challenges do you face the most in your particular industry?
Whenever there's a clash of cultures, it's always potentially a challenge. I've been very, very fortunate in my career to have always been working with different cultures. So having that ability to adapt to who's in front of you, who your customer is, or who your provider is, or which country the issue is ongoing, I think really helps to dial down any kind of drama or negative situation that's ongoing, and then helps you really to then find a solution to that particular problem. So it is a challenge, but it's also a very good opportunity to really make a difference in the industry or area that you're working in. So yeah.
Yeah. I think most of the clients now in the private would be very high-end, wealthy people that you have to deal with.
Yes.
So how do you set the expectations and how do you make sure you match up to those,
Yeah.
make up to those?
Yes, you're right, 100%. The type of clients that I deal with on a daily basis are extremely high expectations. My priority has always been to ensure that there's 100% transparency, that everything's brought up. I try and bring up every potential issue that could happen on every tier before this contract's even signed, just so that everyone is fully aware of potentially what can go wrong. Because what happens is if it doesn't go wrong, amazing, everyone's happy. If it does, everyone's prepared and there's always a contingency plan. So I think whenever you come up with these kind of people and have plans, backups and solutions, and you're able to explain in a very simple way what's happening and why, that always helps for them to understand. They have a very hectic life already. So they need someone that can take control of the situation, explain it to them, provide them the options, let them choose, and then just run with it. So that's kind of the approach.
Yeah. And of course, I'm sure you also need to keep this balance because when we talk about, precision and safety in aviation, but at the same time, they have the demand of luxury and personalization. So how do you manage this balance?
That's a very good question. Safety is non-negotiable. Is the number one priority that we always take into account. And then within that, then it's pretty much whatever they want. So as long as it's safe and legal, there's no limit. Whether it is bringing your pet on board, having the most exquisite caviar selection you can find, or even having a party on board, we'll make it happen. It just needs to be in that framework of safe and legal.
Now, switching gears towards the personal side. Tell us, what are your hobbies? What do you love doing? Apart from work, how do you what do you engage yourself in?
I play a lot of paddle. like I think everyone is now. It's crazy how many people are enjoying the sport now. But yeah, I play a lot of paddle, football. I enjoy watching Formula One, tennis, pretty much any major sport. I always find an interest somehow behind it. I like hiking, walking, anything that's physical, socializing with friends, having a laugh, going to comedy shows. I think laughter is a very, very important way of handling life and stress. And I think even though we all have very serious and intense jobs, there always has to be a little gap for laughter there, because it really helps, take kind of the pressure off the situation.
Absolutely. That's true. Talking about the hair now, you're 36 now.
Yes.
What is the age when you started experiencing that initial hair loss or the hair thinning?
So the hairline I started feeling probably about 3-4 years ago. And initially it wasn't really that much of a concern to me. But then when I started seeing the thinning on the crown area, that's when I really started panicking. And that was probably about a year ago that I started feeling it physically, that it was there.
Yeah. So tell us, because this is what all the patients usually share with us. Psychologically, some of them say that, it didn't really matter to them. Some said we kind of accepted that, okay, it's genetics, it's, from the family, and we can accept the baldness. And some really want to find a solution and fix it. How is it for you?
See, I for example, I got gray hairs when I was very young, and that was something that never really bothered me. I was absolutely fine with it. But the moment I started feeling that I was losing my hair, it just really had a really bad effect on my confidence, on my self-esteem, on my everything. Everything was affected. I remember even walking down the street on my phone with my head down and being conscious that people could see, the thinning on the crown area, and just be like very self-aware of that. And it was a feeling that I wasn't enjoying. It was affecting me in my personal life. It was affecting me in my work life. Not that anyone would mention anything, but it just made me feel
From
uncomfortable.
within, yeah.
And I had a very long debate with myself, as exactly as you mentioned. Is this something that I need to accept as nature's path? It's natural. It happens to everyone. Own it. Or is this something I want to actively intervene and change? And it took me a while to reach a conclusion in that debate. But in the end, it was more about, well, if I can do something that will help restore my confidence and my self-esteem, why shouldn't I?
Why not? Yes.
And eventually that was kind of the line of argument that I took to justify this decision and to end up taking the step that I did. Yeah.
And that's right. See, anyways, you don't have to rush through any decisions. You should be first mentally prepared that, this is what I want. And 100%. Then, of course, then you research. So when we say research, I'm sure you must have done your part of research. You may have even tried any other treatments, or did you straight decide to go for a transplant? How was it like for you?
I had a quick look at different treatments, but to be very honest with you, I didn't feel any of them were convincing enough for me to take on. So hair transplant was always like number one on the list of options, let's say. So yeah, it's just, also I knew a few people in the past that had done it, and the results were very, very good. So that I remember must have been 5-6 years ago. Just before COVID, I had a friend who went through the process, and the end results were just shocking. So that was the first time I remember saying to myself, okay, maybe this is an option for us in the future. Because if this is the result, then absolutely it's something we need to consider. Yeah.
A lot of people right now, probably the viewers who have been listening to us, they are, there are so many options available. And in Dubai, in countries around Dubai, and they're still confused, not getting that confidence to take that step ahead and, take a decision. Yeah. So I think if you could tell us a little about your initial research that you did, what did you learn from that research? Yeah. Can you tell us that experience of yours?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I would say that I fully understand everyone in that situation, because as I said, I myself was there for quite a while. I think there's no right or wrong time. Everyone has to do it in their own time and when they feel confident.
Sure.
My research process was, initially, I think maybe now that's changing, but a few years back, everyone used to think about Turkey as the place to go to get this done. And I'm absolutely in love with Istanbul as a city. So for me, it was like, well, if I have to go to Istanbul, it's not a problem. But then as years passed on, I felt like, well, there are a lot of options in Dubai, so I would like to explore more locally, because I think also for the aftercare, etc., it's just easier if everything's kind of around where you live. And I went to a few clinics, and I did I had discussions with them and that. But to be very honest with you, I always felt it was very pushy, very rushed, almost like I was being forced to do something. And I didn't really enjoy that feeling. And I knew that I was only going to commit to something like that requires time, a physical effort, a financial effort, if I was 100% convinced.
True.
So eventually, through a friend of mine who had the procedure done here in a short clinic, he recommended me this place. I did very quick research online to see where it was, etc. And I thought, I'll come down and I'll have a word and see what they say. And to be fair, the recommendation of a friend always helps a lot,
Of
right?
course,
It
absolutely.
puts you that
Yes.
one step closer. But that being said, the experience I had here in the consultation phase was extremely different from anywhere else I'd been. And that was one of the things that really helped me take that step forward. I think it was like we had a very long conversation. I had quite a lot of questions. Everything was explained properly, in detail, with passion. That feeling of being in a safe place and being with people that understand your struggle and what you're going through, plus a recommendation from a friend who's gone through the process and is very happy with the outcome. And I'll tell you something else as well. I was able to go in and see the procedure live.
Okay. Yes.
And it's a very small thing, but for me at that point, being able to see it,
Yeah. You know what you're getting into.
it took away a lot of, I think, the fears or the unknowns of, okay, well, what happens through that door, right? Is there something that I'm going to be screaming in pain? Am I even going to feel it? How does it work? Do I lie down? Do I lie up? Or what's happening, right? And being able to see both the extraction and the implantation was something that really helped me have sufficient confidence to take that step forward.
Yeah. So I think we've developed that culture here that the right counseling is important, because when you have to take, it's once in a lifetime procedure, you're going to take a very mindful decision here. So a lot of clarity and knowledge about the process is something which is our intent. And that is what we try to, bring in. And of course, the recommendations that you had also definitely helped you.
Yes.
But yes, I think for viewers who are listening, I think consultation is a very important part, because of course the surgery, the doctors and the OT are going to be wonderful. But for you to take a decision and get enough transparency and clarity on the process happens on the consultation table.
Write down all the questions you have. There are no stupid questions. Ask them. If the answer's not to your satisfaction, ask it again, because at the end of the day, you're the one who needs to be 100% comfortable that this is the right thing for you. And it might not be the right time, it might not be the right clinic, but you need to make sure that from your side, at least, you're confident. And I feel like a lot of people come in still with maybe a bit of stigma, a bit of embarrassment. So it's like, okay, let me just, this is your time, and it's your place for you to find out the information you need.
Also, I think for you, it was like a 3 or 4 day procedure.
Yes, 4 days. In the end, there was a time when we thought it might be 5, but luckily we could do it in 4. So yeah, it's a 4-day procedure.
Do you also feel that, because this is what a lot of patients share with us when they tell us their experience, of course, it is an invasive procedure. It's going to have its amount of pain and the inflammation and all of that. But when most people try to do it in a single day, and of course, they are lengthy hours, 12 hours, 14 hours also sometimes, versus when you kind of split it into, 4 days. What is your take on that? Because you've already experienced, the 4-day procedure. So can you tell us a little about it?
Again, that was another difference I felt with the show. As everywhere else I went, they were offering it in 2 days. And initially they were saying it was like 8 hours per day, but there was a chance that it could go longer. Now, of course, when you've not gone through the process, you're like, I don't know, maybe 8 hours is normal. It seems like everyone's offering 8 hours. And I remember distinctly the conversation here about doing it in 4 days instead, and the reason why is so that, you know, it's less traumatic for the body, etc. And at the time it was like, sure, I mean, whatever you say, right? But now having been through the process, 100%. I know it's a longer period of time, 4 days over two. And it also is going to obviously very much depend on your pain levels and your tolerance, etc. But I felt that even though I doubled the amount of days I was coming to the clinic, I felt like my, you know, the 4 hour period instead of the 8 hours is definitely an easier for the body.
Easier one, yeah.
100%, yeah.
So how was it in terms of your emotions on the day one when you came in?
It was, I remember right before we started the procedure, I was sitting there on my own and I just kept smiling.
Yeah.
Because for me, the process from realizing what was happening to my hair and that it wasn't just going to magically fix itself, then going into the phase of what should I do about it, if I should do anything about it, then saying I am going to do something about it, where should I do it, all of that culminated in that day. So me being sitting down in that chair and being fully ready for the procedure was just a sense of accomplishment. Even though nothing had yet been accomplished, it felt like, okay, we're doing this. But at the same time, it was like, I have no clue what's going to happen. I have no clue if it's going to be painful, if not, you know, nothing. So it was anticipation and excitement more than fear. I don't think day one, I don't think I had fear at all.
I think in your case, it was Dr. Piyush who had done the procedure.
Correct.
So how was your, you know, relationship or the rapport with your doctor? Because I think that's also very important.
Yes, hugely important. And also as well with Mary, the nurse, I think it's very important that's, you know, there's that kind of confidence and trust, you know. I was very happy with the way the entire procedure worked. At all times, I was asked if I was in pain, if I needed something. If, you know, whenever I did kind of complain or move a bit, immediately it was handled with more anesthesia. So I felt like the process was explained, especially on day one. You know, the lines were drawn. The whole process was explained of what was going to happen today and the next day and in 4 days' time and 10 days' time, and you know, so at all times I felt like I was in safe hands. And it's, you end up, at least from the patient side, I think you end up creating that kind of bond, because again, it is a very intense process to go through, and having the same two people next to you the entire time is something that's, you know, that stays with you. So I agree, it's very, very important that relationship is there.
And this is very true, because a lot of times patients, in case, you know, they've had a past history of transplant somewhere, of course they've done it from great institutions and clinics, but they feel that the doctor involvement was only for probably that initial 1 hour, and then it was more of, you know, the technical team doing it. But I think if it's start to end, because it's finally you're dealing with the body, and scalp is a sensitive area, though it's an aesthetic procedure, but the safety and, like you said, the comfort of the same doctor being with you start to end across all sessions, I think that plays an important role.
Yeah, 100%. It's taking ownership, right? It's not just coming in and saying, okay, we're going to do this, that, and then disappear, right? It's knowing that you're in safe, capable hands throughout the entire process. And it's somebody who's been from the very beginning to the very end. And in fact, somebody you'll continue to see for the next few months as you come in for checkups and PRPs and all the lots and all of the post procedure stuff, right? And like, for example, walking in and seeing Mary when I come for my appointments, it lifts my spirits, even though what I'm going to go through might not be the most comfortable thing, right? So having that kind of a rapport and relationship with the people you're going through this will make it a lot easier for you to manage everything. And also it will help you tell them how you feel, which I think is another important phase of saying, well, if I'm in discomfort, if I'm in pain, if if my arm is falling asleep, whatever it is, or if I need to stop and drink some water, go to the toilet, whatever it may be, that you need to have that confidence to say, okay, stop, I need this, right?
So it's been 4 months. Tell us, how did you feel when you started seeing that, initial hairline getting created and that new hair starts to come in? Of course, it's a very early phase. We have several more months to see, much more enhancement and development. But I think it looks pretty good even in the 4th month. So how was that initially when you saw in the mirror? What were the emotions like?
It was amazing. It was, I think as well, you kind of compartmentalize all the feelings you've had from day one of the procedure until that day where you're looking in front of the mirror and it's like, okay, we made it, you know. I just remember smiling and just being very happy with the process was entering that new phase of you know, okay, I don't need to wear a cap anymore, you know. I don't need to have that social stigma that I carry, you know, that you can still see that it's all very pink and there's not much hair coming out and that and it immediately, one of the things that surprised me the most was it immediately restored a lot of the confidence that I had lost in just by seeing a very faint hairline, you know. So I'm very excited to see what the end result will be.
Yes.
Because if I already feel like this now, I'm sure, you know, in 8 months from now, it will be even better. But yeah, the feeling of kind of completion or satisfaction of again, having gone through a very lengthy process and having had to trust that it would work, and then no longer having to trust and being able to see it, you know, that was huge.
Absolutely. In fact, I remember in the early conversations you mentioned that even when you were into your phone, you know, crossing the street, back of the head you constantly had this, oh, you know, this area looks thinned out of this, but I think the body language and the whole I think the energy changes once you're at least in the process of, even if it's the initial growth, I think that definitely does change the energy.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you walk around feeling more confident, more, you know, your self-esteem grows. You look in the mirror and you're like, oh yeah, hello. You know, it's like it's a completely different approach and the way you see everything. So that's why I was saying at the very beginning, part of the decision making has to be around, you know, well, at least the phase when I was in, saying, okay, well, should I just let nature do its job or should I do something about it? When I decided to do something about it was, if I can help restore that confidence and self-esteem, why should I not do it? And now that's kind of that phase where I'm seeing the reward for that. So yeah.
And how did your partner feel seeing the results?
And she's been very supportive from day one. In fact, I think I would even argue that one of the main reasons why I ended up doing it was because she kept pushing me towards it. I think as well, it's very important for everyone is, you know, having your partner, your family, whoever's around you that supports you in this, because if not, it can become this kind of problem or taboo that you don't want to handle. And she's been very supportive. Even when I used to look in the mirror and go, oh, it doesn't look very good or that in the early days, she'd be like, no, actually it looks better than yesterday and that. So she's been great in this whole process. And now obviously she's very impressed. So
great.
It also helps in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us, what is that one advice you would like to give to people who are, you know, still in two minds, not able to, you know, be confident enough to take that decision? Probably I would say 3 important factors that, you know, you would want to highlight and point out, which will help them take a good decision.
First of all, I would say it's your decision to make and only yours. There's no right or wrong time. I would recommend doing it as early as possible because for the simple reason that you get to enjoy the benefits earlier than if you do it later. But I think it's important that people don't feel any pressure in making this decision. 2 is trust the process. It will take time to show, but the results will be absolutely worth it. And 3, I would say choosing the right place to do it so that you have the confidence of, you know, speaking to your doctor, speaking to your nurse, speaking to your consultant and making sure that they answer all the questions that you have so that you have that confidence in going ahead with the procedure.
So we have a quick rapid fire round and it's usually the most fun segment and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy that with you as well. So shall we start?
Sure, let's go ahead.
All right. So the first thing, private jet or commercial airline, what do you prefer when you travel?
Private jet, 100%.
Yeah. The strangest or the funniest client request you ever heard in aviation?
Client wanted to carry 100 live parrots with him.
Live parrots?
Live parrots with him on the plane and not in a cage.
Oh my God. Not in a cage?
Not in a cage, flying around the cabin.
How did you even manage to have this request?
You can't.
Of course not,
But yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. One city you've flown and that always takes your breath away.
Istanbul.
What's harder, managing high-profile clients or managing your own stress?
Managing clients.
Clients. Okay. One Spanish dish you miss the most in Dubai?
Paella.
Okay.
Has to be.
A Spanish saying or a Spanish phrase that you love people in Dubai wouldn't understand.
Que calor, macho.
And what does that mean?
That means it's very hot, but in a very Spanish way. I think anyone who speaks Spanish who hears that will know what I mean.
All right, okay. One thing Spain does better than rest of the world?
Enjoy life.
What's the most Spanish thing about you that even Dubai couldn't change for you?
My love for siestas. That's something that even though I'm trying to get rid of them, and I just can't. It's too ingrained in my DNA.
Okay. Who's more stylish, Spanish men or Dubai expats?
Dubai expats.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Little on Dubai and the lifestyle. What's more fun for you in Dubai, like a night out at downtown or a relaxed beach evening at GBR?
I think a nice evening out in downtown.
If you had to describe Dubai in one word, what would it be?
Breathtaking.
Paddle tennis or gym, which one wins on a lazy day?
Paddle.
Politics or Formula One, what do you enjoy watching more?
Formula One.
One book that you really, loved reading and it stayed with you?
The first Harry Potter book I read when I was a child.
Okay.
It just opened up an entire world in my imagination that I never thought I could. So yeah, I would say first Harry Potter book.
Okay. A habit you wish you could change about yourself?
Overthinking too much.
Okay, I have that too.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And also one habit that you love about yourself?
I'm always prepared to try new things.
If your friends had to describe you in 3 words, what would that be?
I'd say funny, reliable,
Yeah.
and that I'm there.
If you had to swap lives for a day with a pilot or with a footballer or with an actor, what would you pick and why?
I'd be Leo Messi for a day. I'd love that, yeah.
Okay, all right. If your life had a theme song right now, what would that be?
Probably anxiety.
Okay. Your first hairstyle you want to try, of course, you're already experimenting, but when it grows even longer and thicker, what's that one hairstyle that you want to try?
I want to try going for something long and just seeing how that sits with the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've always had short hair, so.
Yeah. You want to grow them longer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. The best compliment you've ever received in the last 4 months?
You look younger. And funny enough, that's another. After the procedure, everyone tells me I look younger, so I'll take it.
All right. Since you're in Dubai, you must have met many Indians as well. So is there anything about the Indian culture or people or food that you really like?
The food.
The food.
Yeah, food.
Okay. And the last one. If you had to sum up your hair transplant journey so far, like in one word, what would that be?
I'll say 2 words, but it's worth it.
Worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much once again. It was super fun talking to you, and thank you for your time.
Likewise.
Wishing you all the very best. Also for the hair, because it's in the progressive state. So may they grow longer, thicker, and denser in the upcoming months. And all the very best for your career. And may you have a fit, healthy, happy life ahead.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.